Hello everyone, Thempire Ian here with a new card. There's only one. I usually don't do these videos for just one card, but this one is an important one. This one is potentially going to be changing the way Yu-Gi-Oh is played. So let's take a look. It is Mulchummy Perulia, which is a very strange name. It's coming out in Infinite Forbidden, which is not that far away. Legacy Destruction comes out in about a week, and then this one comes out about a month afterwards, I believe. Maybe it's in June instead of May. I don't quite remember. But yeah, it's coming out soon. It's a level 4 Aqua effect, 100 attack, 600 defense. You can only activate the effects of other Mulchummy monsters once during the turn you activate this card's effect. Which makes it seem like there's going to be a series of Mulchummy monsters, and I assume they're all going to be hand traps like this one is. If you control no cards, quick effect, you discard this card, apply these effects for the rest of this turn. So I feel like it's going to be a series of hand trap monsters that you're limited in how many you can activate per turn, just for the whole archetype of hand traps. Each time your opponent normal or special summons a monster from the hand, immediately draw one card. During the end phase, if you have more cards in your hand than the number of cards your opponent controls plus 6, shuffle random cards from your deck or from your hand into the deck equal to the difference. So, this card is quite good. It is Maxx C, kinda. It is not Maxx C. Like, obviously, like, Maxx C is a much stronger card than this. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to go over the arguments for and against this not being for and against this being as game warpingly strong as Maxx C, that I can come up with off the top of my head here. So obviously this is the way this card is designed. It feels like the ideal of what Maxx C is supposed to be. For one, it says if you control no cards. Bam! Like that text right there would help Maxx C a lot. that would be really nice if Maxx C had that exact text. If you control no cards. It only works on summons from the hand. A lot of summons in modern Yu-Gi-Oh are from the deck. So you draw only when the summon card is summoned from the hand. So it's going to activate on UCT, although unless you're using Double Evolution Pill to get UCT. But most importantly for right now, it's going to work on stuff like Birch, Snake Eyes Birch. It's going to work when you have brick pieces in your hand, like Flamberge, and it's going to work on Poplar, and it's going to work on your normal summon. So you're probably going to activate this in the draw step or in the standby phase, and then get the draw on the normal summon as well. So you're going to be that normal summon Ash is going to get you a draw, and the special summon of Diabellstar is going to get you a draw. So in your standard Snake Eyes thing, there's probably 3 to 4 cards that are going to get you that are going to draw you. 3 to 4 summons that are going to get you a draw. And at minimum, it's 2, because Diabellstar is kind of whether you draw it or not, right? The rest of it is the mandatory, the normal summon and the Poplar. The rest of it is So this doesn't count any extra deck summons, it doesn't count anything from the deck, it doesn't count anything from the grave, it's just from hand. Funnily enough, that actually gets Eldritch. Eldritch summon will get you a draw. Ritual summons will get you a draw. So this hits Voiceless Voice really hard, actually. Unless you're summoning from the grave. I think Voiceless Voice has the option to ritual summon from the grave. I know a lot of ritual decks do, like Vendread, but. So there's definitely it hits. I don't know why I'm thinking about this. Gold Sark, the Gold Sarcophagus of Light, gets hit by this pretty hard for some reason. Interestingly, I think this hits rogue decks worse than it hits a lot of meta decks, but it does hit Snake Eyes specifically pretty hard too, just by like 3 draws. But during the end phase, if you have more cards in your hand, the number of cards your opponent controls +6, shuffle random cards from your hand into the deck equal to the difference. So if your opponent ends on no cards, then you have to shuffle back equal to the number of cards that you drew. However, your opponent will not be ending on nothing. Like if you are at the point where you are drawing cards, your opponent is not ending on nothing, right? So you're going to be able to keep all those cards likely, unless they're ending on just one card, in which case you're after summoning a bunch. Like Sky Striker, well, I mean Sky Striker would only really summon from hand once. So like maybe twice if you're going into Rose for some reason. I don't think you would do that turn 1 though, like all in one turn. In which case you would still get to just keep 7. But yeah, I guess in the case of like building up to a large towers boss monster that's like the only thing on field, in that case you would have to shuffle back some cards. But even then, you still got a mulligan, right? Like it's basically like, if you drew this card, you get a mulligan, and that's like the argument I have like against this card, is that it's like, if you draw it, right? If you draw it, it's an incredible card, or not, incredible might be a stretch, honestly. Like it's a good card. Like there's absolutely no doubt in my mind that this is a good card, and you would want to play it. Most of the time, right? Because it has, unlike Maxx C, it has a lot of control placed on it. You probably only want to be playing this going second, for instance. Going first, this card doesn't really do anything for you, and it just doesn't, like, if you get drolled, like it can be drolled or ashed or called by or cross out, just like Maxx C can. So it has all the weaknesses of Maxx C, but I think because it's not as strong or like likely to be as played as Maxx C is, I think it potentially also, you won't be like decked out to stop it. Like in Master Duel, where Maxx C is legal, you're playing 3 Ash Blossom, you're playing 2 Called By, you're playing Crossout Designator sometimes, just to make sure that you have as many answers to Maxx C as possible at all times. I don't think this card is powerful enough to warrant that, right? So it's more likely to actually resolve than Maxx C is, I think. I think, though, that this is a really interesting card for the TCG. Like, I think this card here might actually do what Maxx C is designed to do, right? This seems to me like looking at Maxx C and the failures of Maxx C and designing a new card to do what Maxx C was designed to do, but make it actually do that instead of just being the most obnoxious card in the entire game. This card, I think, is going to see a lot of play in going second deck specifically, and then it could see a lot of play in sideboards for going second. I don't think this is going to see a lot of main deck play in going first strategies, and I think this is actually an interesting card. I think this is an interesting card. It has a lot of similarities with Maxx C, right? But I think this potentially might be a Maxx C that's tolerable, right? I don't know. I'm torn on it because it is still a quite strong card. Like, I can see it being played as frequently as Ash Blossom, and I'm a little uncomfortable with how frequently Ash Blossom is one of the most powerful hand traps you could be playing, right? Like, I've started to become a little bit like, I don't know, I don't like that this is like always in here, and it's becoming less, but that's mainly because of the circumstances of the Fire format, right? And even then, we're still playing it, and even then. What I'm not looking forward to, though, is the presence of this card in Master Duel. I think this card in combination with Maxx C is going to be extremely obnoxious. Uh, like if you lead you probably lead Mulchummy Perulia in the draw or standby phase, and then you bait out any negation, and then you go Maxx C. Like, that's gonna be annoying. So unless this card is coming with it a ban of Maxx C in the OCG and Master Duel, I foresee this causing a lot of problems in both of those formats where Maxx C is still around. I think this card is not necessarily a toxic card, but in the presence of a Maxx C format, it is absolutely a toxic card because it takes the same negations that Maxx C has and then lets you play Maxx C afterwards. Like, if Maxx C suddenly became a Mulchummy monster, like, even then you could still activate one more Mulchummy monster, right? Because of the way the wording is, you get to activate one other Mulchummy monster. I'm also looking forward to see what other Mulchummy monsters we see. Like, are we going to get like a Dimension Shifter, a Droll, that's a Mulchummy, and then we get rid of Dimension Shifter and Droll because they're very annoying cards as currently designed? That would be interesting. And this hand trap design is theoretically a way to lower the power of the format without printing these like extremely game warping hand traps that just make the entire game unfun. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. Like, just the ways in which Maxx C, Droll and Lockbird, and Dimension Shifter work means that if they are activated and you don't have the negate, the entire game is just like there's no game anymore. Like, you've just, like, the game is over. And I think this specific type of design, this specific type of card design that is here on Mulchummy Perulia, I think kind of fixes that. It kind of fixes that that design problem, and the fact that it's limited to how many limiting how many you can use. Like, if there's like multiple, like if there is a Droll, a Dimension Shifter, and a Maxx C here, you can only use 2 of those, right? And I think that's interesting too, because they take up, they're going to take up the slots in your non-engine, and if you draw like 3 of them, like they don't do anything. Like, the third one doesn't do anything, right? But they're all still very powerful, so you still probably want to play them, right? And this is like, that's purely speculation though, because we only have this one card currently. Also, could I say, it's extremely cute. Look at that guy. Oh my god. That's adorable. Look at him. Look at this little guy too. Incredible. So I'm cautiously optimistic about this. Very cautious though. I am very concerned that this could be just Maxx C2. But I am cautiously optimistic that this is actually going to be what Maxx C was intended to be instead of what Maxx C turned out to be. Real quick, before we leave, let me read this little quote here. There's a little note here, I should say. I think is a play on Puria Peru, Japanese onomatopoeia for wobbly, quiver, or squishy thing you like a jellyfish. X-Brain suggests it could be Pluria, 2 is in plural. Appears to be an Aurelia, genus for common jellyfish. Cool. It's a cute little name. But yeah. That's Maxx C2. And hopefully the sequel is better. I'm again cautiously optimistic. I'm interested in seeing how this does in the OCG. Because I think in the OCG this is gonna be a nightmare until they ban Maxx C. But I think over here in the TCG land, this could be refreshing, honestly. We'll see. Only time will tell. I'm like I said, I'm very cautious about that statement. I'm perfectly willing to be wrong on that, because I think it's very possible that it is wrong. It's kind of hard to figure out whether this is going to be Maxx C or what Maxx C was supposed to be. Just like how it was kind of hard to see the value of Maxx C when Maxx C was first printed, right? Maxx C didn't see a lot of play until, you know, a little bit after it was printed. People didn't immediately see the value, and I think this one's going to be hard to evaluate as well. But as it stands currently, it seems to me like they've kind of controlled for all the variables that make Maxx C so like game warping, right? But I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you cautiously optimistic? Are you dooming? Is it time to doom? Are you ready for dooming? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hey there. Thanks for watching another video. Why don't you give it a like, share it around, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for notifications. You know, the YouTube stuff. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter for more content. I got content plenty for ya. You can also support the channel by giving me money. There's a Patreon. If you join the Patreon, you can show up in the credits over here. I would really appreciate that. You can also use my TCG Player affiliate link to get any singles, sealed product, or accessories that you want, all to supporting the channel at the same time. That's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful rest of whatever time it is for you. Bye now!